Boom, you're on now. So you can hear us loud and clear if you're watching and tuned in that way. Welcome to another edition of the Abby Award-winning Vital Show right here on V94.9 WATV. In studio tonight,
it's your girl Black, y'all.
Yeah. So we're holding it down, waiting on crew member Chuck. And we have special guests tonight. Guests are already in place and ready to go. A big week is ahead of us. A big week is ahead of us. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about some current events. I'm sure we got a little vital juice over there, a little some interesting things that have happened over the week or some entertainment news, all of that, because that's what we do here. We do a little bit of everything. So to get us started tonight, there are some deadlines coming up really, really soon. And in the virtual studio, we have our special guest tonight, Miss Samantha Williams from the Birmingham Promise. Welcome, Miss Sam.
Hi.
Sam. Hey, where you at?
I'm good. I'm out here in Birmingham.
Hey. All right. So we got you up now. So you are representing the Birmingham Promise.
Yes.
What is that?
Yes. So the Birmingham Promise is a fantastic opportunity for any graduating seniors from Birmingham City Schools. It's going to cover all of your tuition for any public 2-year or 4-year college in the state of Alabama. There are no requirements except to be a graduate of a Birmingham City School high school and going to a public college here in Alabama. So it's going to cover all of your tuition after federal aid.
Wonderful. So after federal aid, I know that a lot of people had questions about how it went. The first roundabout. How does it work? So you apply for FAFSA and you can accept all your Pell Grants, all the loans or whatever is offered. And then whatever is left, the Birmingham Promise foots the bill. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, but even better, you don't have to accept the loans. So it's just after your Pell Grants or any other federal grants, then we get the rest. So then if you still want to accept any loans for other costs, you can, but you don't have to accept them in order to get our funding.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So June 1st is the date or the deadline. That's when seniors have to know what all do they need to know? What has to be done by then?
Right. So by June 1st, you just have to go to our website, which is just birminghampromise.org, put in the proof that you've completed your FAFSA, which is to get your student aid report. They give you a copy of that. You upload it to our website. Put down what your first choice college is and that you have proof of admission to that college. And then we go from there. So if you submit it by June 1st, there's anything else that you need to still decide, we can work with you on that. But you just have to have put your application in by June 1st.
Okay. So June 1st, I think, is next Wednesday?
Yeah, it's coming up really soon. Yeah.
Okay. What's on May 31st? Chuck just got in here, you know.
Hello. What? I'm on time.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Show starts at 7:06. You're late.
I'm on time for me.
Okay, great. Yeah. So Sam, this is something we go through weekly here.
Hi, Chuck.
I never know if I'm supposed to come or not.
Don't do it. Don't do that. Sam, look. Let's do this. Let's just do this. We have to do it every week because there are a couple of different crew. There are a couple of different crews that make up Vital. There are the Vixenz, there's the Village, and then there's the crew. Chuck is the crew, but he feels the need to get an invite every week or to have his invitation accept. I don't know what it is. I don't understand.
He just wants to feel special.
He is. That's why he's here. Feel special?
No, I don't want to. I mean, everyone feels special.
Right.
He's very special. He brought me a white hot chocolate.
I did.
But he didn't bring me anything. So, yeah. Anyway, back to the interview because I just wanted to do that, Sam, so you could know what was going on since you're not in studio, which is so great, the technology that we have these days. But we're talking about the Birmingham Promise, Chuck, and just how seniors from the Birmingham City School System are able to get that input from the city. It's just a real big situation.
Shout out to Mayor Wood.
Absolutely. So June 1st, they have to know where they're going, have to have some type of proof of acceptance or intent, and the financial aid application has to be done, right?
Exactly. So they can get that federal aid so that we can know how much we're going to cover for the rest of their tuition.
Okay. Wish they would have been around when we were in school.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So this started when? When did the Birmingham Promise start?
So this fall will be the third cohort of seniors going into their freshman year of college. So the third year freshmen. So far, we've already got over 800 students getting financial aid from Birmingham Promise or success coaches, which is another thing we offer, which is that even if you don't get that much aid through Birmingham Promise because your grants cover most of it, or you will still get a success coach who is there to be your person while you're in college, helping you get through academic challenges or any other challenges you're having addressing, adjusting to college. And so about
Okay.
800 students have received aid through Birmingham Promise, and another 200 have done our internship program.
That's awesome. So you all are following these students throughout their college experience.
Make sure that
Exactly.
their
Yeah.
person show them like not to go to those tables with those credit cards and the free
Every
t-shirts.
week.
Skip
Oh
the
my
free t-shirt.
goodness.
We talk about it every week.
Because they got
Yes.
us.
Stay away. I was
Wait.
going to say, stay away from the tables. They definitely got us too.
Right.
Can you
Yep.
imagine being
Nope.
in college
Talk to your coach.
Can you imagine being in college with a life coach? How
Mm.
much better would your life be?
It would have been so different.
It would
It would have been
have.
different.
It would have
Yep.
been so different. What are like with the life coach, what does that look like? What do those conversations look like? What's the subject matter? Is it whatever I need?
Yeah. So they are people, we have 5 coaches who are spread out supporting students at the different campuses, and they have a variety of backgrounds. We got social workers, and they basically just provide touch points for the student to say, hey, how are your grades going this week, this term? How are your exams coming up? Are you struggling with any exams? Are you having any emotional problems? How's your mental health?
Mm.
And if there are things that they are trained to address, they do. Or what they do is they are very well connected to all the resources at the institution. And so they will say, hey, you need to go and talk to Miss Williams at this office because she can
Right.
help you with, dealing with the stress you feel. So they are connected to all the other resources on campus. So everything that they can't help you address directly, they can put you in contact with a person who can. So there shouldn't be any situation that just completely falls through the cracks because they can help you with whatever that might be. And there are a lot of challenges that students face their first year on campus. The program is not foolproof, but they are there to work with you for as much as you want to work with someone to stay in college, because we don't want to just send people off with money. We want them to succeed and to make it through all 2 or 4 years, whatever they signed up to do.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
It's like a one-stop shop for wraparound services.
Yeah.
We're trying to be. We're trying
Yeah,
to be.
and
We want to see things change. You want to see Birmingham City School students get whatever they want to get out of life. And for many of them who choose, if they look at what they want and college is the way to get that, well, we want to help them get there. We want to help them not be in debt for the rest of their lives to do it. And we want them
Yes.
to succeed and not to take on any debt for a degree they didn't earn. We want them to get through the entire degree. So we recognize
Definitely.
that to do that, you have to make sure that if you're not providing the services, you're connected to the services, you're recommending the services.
That is awesome. Got some viewers on Facebook with comments. Hey, Mama Woodfin. She says, I wish Birmingham Promise was here to help me educate all these college graduates in my house. I work for AT&T, so after FAFSA completion, I couldn't afford to send my children to college without taking out loans. College wasn't optional in my home. Kudos to Birmingham Promise and Mayor Woodfin. And then we got Trina Holmes. Hey, Trina. She says, hey. And so when you're watching, make sure that you're telling your seniors and seniors that you know that the Birmingham Promise is promising. I think people often get that vibe that, hey, it's something that says for me, it's something else to it. It's got to be a catch. What's the catch saying? What's the
There
catch?
is not a catch. All you have to do is graduate. I mean, this is something that really, if you know a senior, if you see any seniors in your neighborhood, at church, you have friends, nieces, nephews, ask them, have they applied for Birmingham Promise? There are still institutions in the state of Alabama, colleges, universities that they can still apply for at this date. If you've been thinking that maybe you don't have to go to college for everything that you want to do in life, but for a
Right.
lot of things, it's going to give you that credential that can help you make your own choices and not be at the mercy of choices and of other people's choices. So if you're thinking about it, or if you just thought that, the finances were the one thing that were in the way, really consider Birmingham Promise, because there is no catch. And if you reach out to us, we've got people whose job it is to help talk you through the process, to find out what you're hesitant about, what you may not know about financial aid. We can help you think through the cost with you and your family. We're not just a distribution of cash. We are here to help you succeed. So
That's
there
what's up.
really is no catch. You just have to be a senior in the Birmingham City Schools.
Simple. 12th graders, seniors, if you're graduating in the coming week, most graduations are happening this week. If that is you, you have a few days to go ahead and get your application in. Sam, is it a long application?
It is not. It's really drop in your student aid report, tell us some, demographic details, name, address, phone number, all that, and then submit your college acceptance letter. After that, the only other requirement is that you have to do an orientation, which is a 15-minute conversation with someone on our team where we talk to you about what the promise covers, what it doesn't cover, to make sure that you and your family are well aware of what it will look like to spend your 2 or 4 years in college, so that, you get all of your questions answered. How do I pay for this? How to pay for that? We walk through all of that. That is something to help you, but it's also a requirement. That's the only thing that, might take a little bit of time, but it's essential, for you to know how it works.
Yeah, no 5-page essay,
Nope.
fee,
Tell your life
$50
story.
fee. Right,
Nope.
none of that. Wow.
Nope. No blood test, nothing.
So the only thing that is required is you gotta already have exhausted all of your other financial resources, right? And y'all make up the gap, correct?
So the only resources that have to be exhausted are the federal resources.
Right.
For more students, that's, full or partial Pell Grants. After
Right.
that, it's not, any loans that you would get, any other outside scholarships that you get. We don't, those you can apply to your other expenses. We get
Right.
the rest of tuition after those federal allocations.
I
So
just
if
want to
you,
make sure people. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, I was going to say, like if you get a scholarship from, a community organization or something like that, you can apply that to your housing. You can apply that to your meal plan. We do not make you account for
that's
that
big.
for Promise.
Right. I just want to make sure that people weren't like, "Hey, y'all told me I had to pay. I had to do nothing but just do
No,
this."
no,
No. You
no.
still
Right.
got to do what you got to do.
Right. And that's
Right.
why the FAFSA is required. You do have to find out how much federal aid you can get, so that, you're not leaving that money on the table. Those grants are for you. So get
Yep.
those grants. We put that in there, and then we do the rest.
Hey, she misspoke though.
What?
Don't consider this. Just do it.
I mean,
Don't consider.
let me tell
Exactly.
you something else that people aren't considering anymore. So remember back in the day, you had the option to do the financial aid application. Now that's
That
like
part.
you have to
A
do it.
requirement.
Yeah, because they the state superintendent said we want all that money to put back into education. So we need the numbers. We need you to apply for financial aid.
Look at Alabama doing something.
I mean, it makes sense, right? At first, I was like,
Every
but
now
what if
and
I don't
again.
want to? But then it started to make sense. So Sam, basically, what you all are kind of saying the same thing. Get the money.
Yes.
Why not get the money?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm telling you, I mean, especially if you want to go to a 2-year institution and earn a credential that can really put you in a professional field within 2 years, that federal aid you get from doing your FAFSA can almost cover all of it. And then Promise will come through and get the rest. So you really, if you are here in Birmingham and you want to attend a 2-year institution in the Birmingham area, you can pretty much go for free. And so think about what you might want to do. Ask people what they did to get there. I guarantee you they had to get some type of credential. You can go out and get yours.
And actually, I know a lot more people with 2-year degrees that are doing better than 4-year degrees.
Oh, you can
Working at
talk
Target.
Cosmetology, estheticians,
CNA, phlebotomy,
nurses.
Absolutely.
welding.
LPNs. That's a 2-year
Welding.
degree.
Absolutely.
Get you a
plumbing.
CDL. You can make 80, 90 racks a year
Ooh.
with a CDL.
And then here we are, went to school for 15 years and
We all right.
make $7.
Hey, people listening to you, though. You did all right.
I'm just playing, guys. Like, yeah.
Donations.
the education is vital. That's why we have these
Yes.
discussions. Like we did not just get here off of our good looks and great sounds. We really put some work in, but it was not as easy for us to do it. Like we did not have a Birmingham Promise program or anything where, leadership was reaching out saying, hey, we want to help you do that. Like
right.
what? Not
Right.
not to this magnitude. So I'm really happy to be in a space to be able to see this from both sides. And I can't wait till my daughter's a senior, because guess what you're gonna
Right.
do? You're gonna fill out
You're gonna
the
get you some promise.
Birmingham Promise application.
She better. We're waiting for
All
it.
right.
We're waiting for it.
You got 4 years. So run me the information again. Tell us where to go, when we need to go by, and what to expect.
Absolutely. So by June 1st, so mark it down, June 1st, that is the last deadline for you to go to birminghampromise.org, submit your student aid report you get from your FAFSA, submit your unofficial transcript from your school proving you went to a Birmingham City school, and submit
Mhm.
the information you have from your first choice college. After that, you have applied and you will get a Birmingham Promise scholarship. We will then reach out to you to do an orientation with you and a parent or guardian. It takes about 15 minutes just to talk to you about what it's about and discuss what you will get offered from Birmingham Promise to apply to your college studies. And that is
Awesome.
it.
Okay, so really, really easy. If you know a
Yep.
high school senior, they're in your church, in your neighborhood, they work at your grocery store, your best friend's kids, your niece, your nephews, let them know that it's
Play
really easy.
cousin.
Yeah, like
I'm
all your
at
play
it.
cousins, right? Birminghampromise.org. Birminghampromise.org. Got a question from a viewer listener that says, is there a GPA requirement for the promise?
There is not. Remember we talking about there's no catch? There's no catch. The only GPA requirement is for whatever institution you're applying to. So, they will have their own GPA requirement for entry. That's all that matters to us. So, to get the Promise Scholarship, there is no GPA requirement. To keep
All
it,
right.
you'll have to continue to make satisfactory academic progress at your institution. But again, that's their requirement.
All right. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us this evening and inviting all of our young people to be a part of the Birmingham Promise.
It
We
has
appreciate
absolutely been a
that.
pleasure. Thank y'all for championing
Absolutely.
for this and making sure people know that it's out there for them.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thanks, y'all.
So, the Birmingham Promise, such a great situation to be a part of. If you have young people, like there are so many things, I'm always asking, like, what is it for the young people to do? How can they be encouraged and helped out? Like, that's one way. Like one way is more than none. So we have several people tonight who will be sharing about different things for the young, for the youth, and for the community. So we're transitioning to introduce you to our next guest right now. Um, Not sure what's needed. Oh, okay. So yeah, we'll get to that in a moment. In studio right now, who do we have?
Hi, it's Talisha, and I represent Inheritors of God's Promise along with my sister, Lakeisha.
Hello, ladies. Welcome to the show. What's your name? What's the name of the organization again?
Inheritors of God's Promise.
Inheritors of God's Promise. Sound like it's about to be real deal situations going on in here. We're about to get into some real live talking in a minute. For those of you who are viewing, thank you so much for viewing. Make sure that you share the show, share the stream so that other people can get hold of this information that's being shared tonight. It may be something that you hear that you're interested in. Thank you, Jonathan. You may be interested in something that you hear or see tonight, and we want you to be able to share it with other people. It's a lot of good stuff going on in the city. So, Inheritors of God's Promise. Tell me about how you all started before we go to our first break. Who are you and how did you start?
So, a lot of things were going on in the community as it pertains to our youth. We were losing several youth daily. The count was like unreal. And so, for us, it was a need that we had to do something. Like the time is now. We have to act now.
We're best friends since college, Talisha and I, and now we both have young children, 7 and 14, just about. And we're seeing a lot of young children, our children's age, who are being lost to gun violence, for one thing. And we're tired of it. And we feel like something needs to be done. And I've heard my pastor say before, Bishop Jim Lowe, shameless plug, at the Kind of Light Church. But I heard him say that when you get tired of something and you feel like something needs to be done and somebody needs to do it, God put that spirit in you to be the one to do something.
Yeah.
So Talisha and I agreed that something needs to be done and we won't sit by and wait on somebody else to do something, that we will do it.
Right.
Okay.
And so in that, what we thought was to bridge the gap, to make Birmingham, our city that we live in, at least, a better place, a better safe haven to save our kids and ourselves. We feel like three entities have to come together and do this. We have to work together as the team to accomplish this common goal. As the community, the school, and the church. And so we've been working really hard to get out there and make the right connections, have the right conversations, and demand answers, but even more so, offer solutions.
Okay.
So it's one thing to always say what's going on. We acknowledge what's going on, but who has the answers? Who has the solutions?
Okay. So I guess what I'm hearing is that you all feel like you have some of those solutions.
So, I mean, we feel like there a lot of people will say, "Well, what can we do?" You know, that's the most common question.
Right.
What can we do? There's a lot that we can do, and it starts in your community,
Mm-hmm.
your neighborhood, your street, your apartment complex, your home.
Okay. So we want to get into what that looks like because that is a question that we always ask. I mean, for I know 15 years, 14 years for sure, we've been having this conversation on air. Every time something happens, it's a question of, well, what can we do? What should we do? And that assignment is different for different people. Everybody does not have the same assignment in there. So
Right.
you're sitting in the room with parents, you're sitting in the room with a judge, you're sitting in the room with the counselor, you're sitting in the room with a worker who's working in the field, who has worked with youth in places where troubled youth are as well. So we all have a piece of that in our background, but our work is different. So I guess one may say, well, you say start on my street, but I don't know my neighbors.
That's the problem. You should know your neighbor.
Yeah, they
That
don't.
bothers
Yeah.
me. When I just moved. So after I moved, got the truck out my yard, I went to my neighbor next door, the one on my street, and the one next door. And like the one to the right of me, she was kind of looking like, "What's she doing here, girl? I'm living next to you, and you got 5 children, so I'm sure that you're gonna want somebody to like keep an eye out if you ain't at home or something. Say hello."
Did it change?
Right.
Did it change once the conversation started?
It was sort of like it threw her off a little bit.
People are not used to
They're
that.
not used to that. So then, like a couple of days later, like she started speaking and stuff more
Okay,
often.
girl.
And I guess they not, like you said, people aren't used to
They,
that.
they
but
aren't.
where I moved from, my neighbor she knew my name, my phone number, my mama phone number. She was cutting my grass, like just really
Neighborly.
Neighborly.
I remember for us when people would move in the neighborhood, we would get Bluebell ice cream. That was like a thing back then. I guess it was still new. I don't know. But I remember taking them Bluebell ice cream, introducing ourselves. They would introduce themselves.
Right. These my kids.
I mean, this is where we live,
Yeah.
right? Like this is not just where we visit every day. This is home. So you should know who's around you. So I would assume that that's one part of it. What's another part of it that you think causes the problems?
So what causes the problems is just, I think the introduction was made to separate. You know, this is even before COVID. We were getting to a place where we were distancing from each other socially and mentally.
Yeah.
People were withdrawing from each other because so much was going on and happening. It became a stance of some people are scared. They want to stay to themselves. They think that increases their chance of safety when safety is in numbers. You know, you have to make your neighborhood a place where the foolishness just isn't allowed, you know, at the end of the day. So if you don't know your neighbors, then you don't know that this person in your neighborhood should or shouldn't be there. What are they there for? Who are you here for?
Right.
You know, so like I always go back to where I'm from, Hobson City, Alabama. Okay. Incorporated in 1899. We stand together as a city, and it's known that you can't do that here, you know, because somebody's going to see it. Somebody's watching. Everybody knows everybody and takes care of each other.
So look, we're going to take a quick break before you get started because I do want to learn more about Hobson City. For you to be a transplant, that's what we refer to people that aren't like this is not where you were born and raised. So for you to be somebody from somewhere else, where are you from?
I'm from Mobile.
From Mobile. So neither of you are originally from Birmingham, but you've been so called and so inspired that you're going to do some work here. When we come back from our first break, we're going to talk to them more about the work that they'll be doing. It's Inheritors of God's Promise right here on V94.9 WATV, sitting in with Vital. Yeah, we'll be right back.
That's a Birmingham Promise student also.
V94.9 WATV teams up with Alabama Black Youth Vote.
He's a Birmingham Promise student also. He's graduating from Atlanta, going to Alabama State on a music scholar. Okay. On a music scholarship and Birmingham Promise.
That's
2022. He's graduating from Atlanta this year. And so he has a music scholarship as well as a
Thank you,
Birmingham
Philip.
Promise. Just send him right on down there to Alabama State.
I'm just gonna read it for myself.
Hello. My hot chocolate is great. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
Your bees look fantastic.
Thanks.
I see your little wrist wear.
Well, you look good, Big Trooper, but she does. Your mama gonna hold up. How you gonna do that?
Me? What up?
Oh God, what I do? Oh God.
Oh, record.
You can come in. You want to do
Yeah, I mean,
Ah.
y'all just don't have a chair, but you can.
No, you can have this chair. It's a short chair.
Oh, that's why I said it's for me.
Thank God it's held up all weekend.
You want to sit down, ma'am? Or you want to sit down?
You know Catherine Lawyer. Oh, okay, she said her friend used to work here.
Virtual viewers and listeners. There you go, Mama Woodfin. And who else we got on here? Okay, so I already shouted that. Okay, cool. So yeah, caught up with that part right there. And if you're listening in the radio or on the radio, tell somebody else. Turn it up loud enough for the person next to you to hear what's going on. So in studio right now, Inheritors of God's Promise, Talisha and Keisha are the founders of this great organization. And you, before we went to break, you were talking about where you're from originally, from Mobile and from
Hobson City.
Hobson City. So where is that?
So Hobson City is in between Anniston and Oxford. If you're traveling 20 east to Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
you'll get off Oxford, hook a left, come on into the city, and that's where you'll find us.
Okay.
So
So it's not like Birmingham.
it's not like Birmingham. And I know the first thing a lot of people will say will probably be the numbers.
You can swing it to you to be
Okay.
comfortable.
All right.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will probably say the first thing would be about numbers. You
Mhm.
know, numbers in a community is far less of you, so it's less of this and less of that. But when you're from the country per se, you know, the atmosphere is different.
Right.
You know, the mood is different. But in Anniston and Oxford, those neighboring cities, it's still the same. We're still one family, and you still have to have the ability and the will to want to take care of your family.
Okay.
That includes your neighbors, your family, your friends, your pets, your whatever you want to call them. If we all live together, we have to work together and take care of each other in order to make this thing called life work best.
Right. So that idea of community and village is something that I guess you all see in lesser numbers here in the big city. Birmingham would be considered the big city to you guys.
But I wouldn't though, because actually with us living in a city where we're not from, that means we have less or no family members at all for
Mhm.
support. So the village is big. My village is important.
Absolutely.
You're in my village, okay?
Yeah.
So it's important. And so you foster relationships with different people, and most of them come from your children. You
Mhm.
become friends with their parents, and you make these other connections, and then that builds your village.
Right.
But you have to want a village. You have to be susceptible to what comes with the village. Like you can't just use me today and say, "See, can you drop my baby off at practice?" And then when I say tomorrow, you know, such and such might have did something that, you know, and I don't want to talk about that. Well, if we're in the same village,
Right.
Nothing is you're right. Nothing is really off limits. There are some things that are personal and kept within your household, but for the most part, the
Right.
role of the village is to be able to assist.
support. Right.
So give me, like I meet a lot of people who say, you know what, I got the answer. I know what to do. Okay, so sure. Right.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
right.
okay, yeah, we want to come on the show and talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me 3 of the points, and they be like, well, see, we trying. First of all, no, that was
Yeah.
already wrong, right? I'm
Right.
already giving them like a buzzer that is not how you go forth. If you have an idea, you feel like you have the answers.
Right.
If you have the answers, typically you have a plan,
Right.
and it's a tried and true plan. It's probably evidence based.
Right. So some things are, you know, more so common knowledge.
Yeah.
You know, when you start in your neighborhood, those things are to become more active, more engaged in your neighborhood. Find out what programs are available for the youth of your neighborhood,
Mhm.
what programs are needed, you know, and then you got to find out who you need to talk to get those programs or those needed things done and worked out. And so that's kind of what we've been doing.
Okay.
We started with the school board and the captain and chief of police and different meetings like that to determine what do we have, what are we working with.
Okay. So
And-
this is not a school based program.
No.
It's a community, but everything that makes up the community.
Everybody
Okay.
that makes up the community. This
Okay.
is all of us, because everyone has to do their part for it to work. You need the school because your kids at school most of the day.
Right.
So you need the school to back up what you're teaching at home and the academic knowledge that they need to be successful in the world. We need the school, but we need them to be right.
Okay.
Right.
So you all, like I think about when people have the idea about we're gonna change the world. We're gonna do our part to change the world, and they figure out this one little piece of what they can focus on. So you all are not just taking one piece out. You need a piece of all of it to make it work.
Right. But it's not
Wow.
the world either. It's on a smaller scale.
Okay.
'Cause you gotta fix your neighborhood.
Okay.
Your town, your community, and then hopefully that light sheds and shares, and then the world can be conquered.
Mhm.
We ain't gonna be able to do it, you know, by ourselves, but we can do what we can do here in Birmingham.
Right.
We gotta fix Birmingham.
And we have a personal responsibility to our children.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they're your kids.
Right. I mean, and that seems like a given, but a lot of parents are not parenting.
They really not. They blame the
Period.
school. They love to blame the school.
Well, that's a lot of children. that are
They
parents.
they want to dress the kids up and send them out, and our kids represent us, but like T said, if they're not acting right, don't be offended when I tell you your child, as pretty as she is not doing
It's
right.
acting ugly.
Is acting ugly. And you don't want me to say anything to her, first of all. So I'm telling you as the parent, and
Yeah.
I'm expecting you to say something to her, but you don't want to do that either because you might be busy, or yes, you got to work just like I got to work. But we also have a responsibility to our children to parent and to be present at home.
Did y'all already ask what Jeremiah chapter 29 verse 11 is?
We did not.
Okay, because it's on the shirts.
Yeah, inheritance
okay.
of God's
Yes.
promise. So what is it?
Right. So when we think about God's promise, He created this world and the human race to live in and to fortify it, to
Mhm.
nourish it, to take care of it, to become a people, to live in prosperity and hope. He did not create this universe for us to live in despair, turmoil, violence, so much negativity. But the world was created, it was beautiful, then it wasn't, then it was destroyed, and then His promise
Mm-hmm.
was to still take care of His people, but we still have to take care of the earth and what's in it as well. So we as a people have to come together collectively and live in hope, and kind of curb and, not so much entice some of these other things that are ruining it.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
All right. I was about to drop the organ on you. Thought you were gonna preach a little bit more.
I
So-
He knows the
Inheritors.
plans He has for us.
Yeah, of God's
Plans to
promise.
prosper us
Yes.
and not to harm us.
So if we're not doing our part, those plans may be forfeited. Like if you see the issues and you don't step in, you can't identify any part in any of this that you can play. Yeah, so I don't know what that's gonna look like for you guys, but you all have stepped
You
in and
can't
you're doing
expect
different
to get
things.
something out if you're not putting anything
Right.
in.
Right.
So share the plan.
All right.
Share
so
the plan.
the plan is and just know that it was emotionally created.
Okay.
Right. It was on strict emotions because what happened was a year ago this time, a
Mhm.
year ago today, I was burying my 17-year-old godson.
Mhm.
Okay. That's what I was doing a year ago today. So when you see a baby born, because he was my baby before I had my baby.
Yeah.
So to see a baby born, to watch this baby grow, and then to see this baby leave, I don't like that.
Yeah.
And then
it's so senseless.
Right. And then there were so many other kids that were taken. And so there was a little boy in Birmingham that was 12 or 13,
Our children's age.
sitting on the
Mhm,
porch.
mhm.
And he's not here anymore. So then now we really can't take it
Right.
because it is not at my back door, but it's not at my front door, but it could be in my own yard.
Yeah.
So when it came to it, we had a discussion and we were talking about what's being done, what's not being done. People praying all day, crying for the mama that lost her baby, crying for the wife that lost her husband, crying for the sister that lost her brother. We can't keep crying. So we got to do something because everyone knows that faith without works is what?
Dead.
And they
Mhm.
are dying.
Yeah.
And so we have to save them now. And so the work began. So the first thing we thought of was, like we said, the three entities that have to work together to make it work: the
Mhm.
school, the community, and the church.
All right.
So we broke those three entities down and we said, okay, the school, what's going on in there? Because all the schools are affected by something.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on. So we as parents said, we need textbooks for our kids. We feel like our kids are being handicapped with the technology advances that are going on. Nothing's wrong with it. We do want to move in a more creative era,
Mhm.
but let's not handicap them because they don't even want to read no more.
Right.
And then you come home and you say, Mama, can you help me with my homework? No, because there's no textbook.
What instructions at?
Right. And then they got to write these little notes down. And if you got a daughter like mine, Janaya, she write a word here, a word there,
She
a
has a
figure
different
here, a
note
figure
taking
there.
system.
The notes ain't there. Where is the example in full that was put on the board? Because that's what you got, right? An example was on the board, and the teacher taught the example and then gave you the assignment. That's what we're doing. Where's the textbook?
Okay.
So we asked the school board in this meeting, we need these things. And they were, your school board members worked for you, right? We elected them to work for us, to take care of our kids and send this stuff on down the line. So I can go in there and I can have my personal time, my community speaking time, and I can say, hey, I really feel like these things are needed. and they're going to hear it. But you've got to want to tell them. They don't know if you don't say anything, because their agenda is their agenda. It's state based, it's politically based, it's money based, it's this and that. But that agenda doesn't match my agenda, because it's the small things that we're looking over that need to be fixed as well. And if you don't fix the little things, some of the big things may not even be successful anyway.
Right.
You know? So that's one of the things that we were talking to the school board about, is that our kids need textbooks. And so other things came into play, like take, for instance, our guidance counselors. There's a guidance counselor in every school. But there's not a lot of counseling programs being offered in the school. We're not having motivational assemblies. You know, we used to go to assembly. Somebody used to come in and talk to us, get us motivated, let us know what's going on out there, give you different options. When the last time your baby came home and said they had a assembly at school?
Yeah, I don't know they do that anymore.
I don't think they do that anymore. And I remember having assemblies and going home and it making an impact.
Right. And see, it's some of those things. That's the problem too. We got to go back sometime. All this new stuff is not working. We got to go back. Our kids don't know who 4-H is.
Right.
Their CAPS. But the guidance counselors aren't doing enough to bring those people into the school to talk to our kids. Have a youth summit, because it's not enough for the mama and the daddy and the granddad and the grandmama and the uncles and the cousins to tell them. You still need this to be reinforced when they're out there too, because they listening to everybody on the radio.
Now, I was just about to say, I will say this, that there are moments where I am in the schools, and it's often, and a lot of times I put myself in those spaces. So we are present. There are people like Strap, they're in the schools. There are other people who get out and go to the schools. Now, how consistent that is, I don't know. And I don't know that the schools are reaching out either. Right. I also know.
And which schools is it?
Yeah, right. Depends on where we go. Right. So that means that
I don't know that all the schools know about
all the people, right?
I mean, that's the thing. So, like, at some point in time, here's the deal, right? This is what I think. Everybody want to take credit for everything, right? Everybody wants to be individual. But I feel like all of these organizations you're talking about, they should have their own internal summit, right? Like, everybody come together and then have a global discussion about how they can all target, like, the education system, what schools or whatever. And, like, if it's Straps Day, then it's Straps Day. If it's somebody else's day, it's somebody else's day. But get like a master calendar. Everybody come together and get a master calendar. If you really about trying to help people. Good. Now, if you're not, then don't listen to me.
Right. Don't come to the meeting.
Nah. Don't come to the meeting. Don't come to the table. Looking for what you did.
No. It's a whole
because our kids need all the help they can get.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all been sitting here talking about community, but like these organizations have to have a community mindset too. Like I said, come together and then put it out there. So anyway, go ahead.
Yes. and I feel you on the organizations piece, because some of the one of the things that we also said was it's a lot of nonprofit organizations. Profit. Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't see these nonprofit organizations in the communities and the schools doing what you say your organization is supposed to do. So how do we hold them accountable? I'm looking for that answer. Stay tuned. I ain't found it yet. But we're going to try to see how everybody got to be held accountable from the top to the bottom. The parents, the teachers, the community leaders, the mayor, everybody. But it's everybody's job to do something.
Okay.
And for the programs that are available, why I got to pay $100? That's wiping half the people out right there.
Are you saying the programming with the nonprofits or in the school system?
Just in general.
But then we do have a lot of programs that are going on in Birmingham that people don't know anything about.
Right.
And so let me just interject this. We are both just graduating from the Academy of Civil Engagement.
Yes, that's ACE, you guys.
That's the ACE program. And we aced it, you know. And so, yes. Okay. And so this was the perfect opportunity to be able to have our voices heard.
Yeah.
You know, this is the way that we were able to meet with our Birmingham Chief Thurman, several police captains, the assistant chief, the mayor, chief of staff. We have Ed, who is the chief officer of strategists, you know. And so we're able to talk to these people and let them know, hey, this is what's going on for us, you know, because again, we go back to their agendas and their agenda doesn't quite match ours because
Yeah.
we're on the smaller scale, the
Mhm.
smaller things that we need to be done, and you up here, but we need you to come down here too, or we're never going to get there. I went to, and I'm gonna let Keisha do this, but I went to a forum a couple of months ago because we're finna vote on the 24th, right? Voting day. So all the candidates was over there in the tuxedo ballroom, and I went over there, and they were, 2 months ago over there in Ainsley at the tuxedo. Okay, well I went to the one
Early on.
right up there. Okay, so the candidates came in, they gave their platform, and when they was coming off the stage, I was catching them like this. I need to have a conversation with you. I need to have a conversation with you. That was me. Listen, you gotta know who to ask for what you want.
Yeah.
So because the things that I need to be done are on state level and above, I need to know who's going to be in those state seats, who's fighting for me. And your agenda is not matching mine. So why are you out there throwing this out? What you working for? I need you to be aware that that's not this. This is what I need.
Okay. So I'm hearing that you have, like I said, evidence based. It has to be some work done. Some homework has to be done. It can't just always be based on lived experience.
Right.
Like I know this because this is why I look. No, I need to be a little bit deeper than that. You have to know who you're approaching. You have to know where to be to get those conversations in. So I applaud you for doing that. The notes that I've taken on this side, just so that we can see, because other people may have ideas too, and there may be other organizations listening that say, hey, the more of us to do the work together, the more
Right.
solutions. But you all mentioned textbooks, assemblies in the schools, more interaction from the guidance counselors, nonprofits being held accountable for the work that they say that they do. And then I guess also for those nonprofits to be able to know where who their people are.
Right.
So I work on every side of this conversation, every single side of it, from the media to the nonprofit side. And there's always some void that somebody else has to fill, because in this particular position, I may be doing this. So, hey, we can bring in the inheritors and let them figure this part out. Okay, well, Ms. Black, you got this part. We can bring you in to do that. But there are not enough vital conversations that are happening where people are not bickering over what they think the solutions are.
Bickering.
And how
Yeah.
much money is it gonna take, and how much money are they getting? Well, how much money am I gonna get?
Yeah.
Who's gonna do the press conference? What?
Yeah. All that
Too many
that don't
chiefs,
even
not
matter.
enough Indians.
Yeah.
It's just got a fellowship and service to get the work done.
Okay.
Like, you ain't gotta call my name for anything,
Right.
Fellowship
But
and
I'm
service,
still
though.
gonna
I
be
like
here.
that.
Yeah, I'm still gonna be here. I'm still gonna work, but we gotta work together. So we're so getting back to ACE, there were other people in the program as well that it was some services that they had that we didn't even know about, like the Arlington House. There's trade programs and different things available, and we don't have any knowledge of it because we don't see it. The focal point so much is on negative things or current news that we miss those little announcements when they come across the radio sometimes.
Yeah.
The little commercial. Or our social media base didn't post that particular event, so I didn't know anything about it. And then we're like, oh, they just told their people.
Yeah.
But everybody got to tell somebody because it's not coming out in a newsletter in the mail.
Is there a place that you can go and there's a repository of every not-for-profit or nonprofit in the city of Birmingham?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm sure
The
that
Alabama
I'm
Nonprofit
sure that the city council
Association.
has it because
Okay, keep going.
If I'm not registered, no. Like if I just function in the
Right.
space of being a nonprofit,
Right.
no. But then the ones that are recognized, yeah.
So maybe
And the ones that are getting city funding.
Yeah.
well, that's few and far between these days. But anyway, you may want to start there. And like I said, look through all that stuff and figure out who you can partner with and go from there.
And if you're listening tonight and you're hearing something, because what happens is people will listen, then they'll go back and watch and be like, inboxing me. How can they reach you all directly?
So you can always directly reach me on Facebook. I'm Talisha Mitchell. That's T as in Tom, ALIESHA, last name Mitchell. Drop me a comment or something. We can, connect that way, and I'll reach out to you with some personal contact information. But definitely, if you're in it for the kids, you're in it for the cause, we want to work with anyone that we can. And we're, still already working with our community leaders, our school. But tonight is about engaging our community. It's about letting everyone know that there is a role you can play, no matter how small it is. There are certain things that you can do to make these things better.
All right. Keisha, what's your contact?
I'm Lakeisha Janae Turner on Facebook. Again, this is not for us. We don't need any credit. This is for our children. Please reach out if you have any aspirations to help our children. Call, text, reach out to Woo wherever you can. We need everybody's help. And
right.
when somebody's doing bad in your neighborhood, please tell.
Yeah, like that's a big. We've always heard that. It ain't snitching. It ain't snitching if you.
If
you
it's
know,
my child,
I mean,
I would appreciate
it ain't
you
snitching if you
telling.
got it.
I think the street code has changed
whatever-
so
or
much. They
whatever they
have
say.
made that part invalid. But if you scared, I ain't. Please just tell me. I
Tell
tell
me,
them.
and we
Yeah, tell me. I tell them.
All right. So look, we're
Oh,
gonna
shout
go-
out! I'm sorry, with the ACE.
Yeah.
Shout out to Uche, who was our
Hey, Uche, babe.
facilitator at 5 Points
That's
West
deputy
Library.
director. All right.
Yes, so
But it's
Okay.
a great program. You can definitely get involved. You can definitely understand how our city government works, who's responsible for what,
contact
which is why I'm
information.
moving forward to the state level.
Yeah.
But there are so many things that people think that is the responsibility of our internal city leaders, and some of it is just not. One of the biggest things for me is we talk about gun violence and just violence in general, but we notice that when we're reading these articles, someone has committed a crime today and then they bonded out today,
Yeah.
and then next week they committed another crime
And they get another
and
bond.
they got another bond. So we sitting at home like, how they keep getting bonds? So the thing is, the state feels like because they haven't been convicted on that first charge, that we don't have the accountability or responsibility or whatever word they want to use for it to be able to hold them because they haven't been convicted. But meanwhile, we sitting at home, before we get to that one, you done did 15 things, harm 15 people. So that's a state thing, So it's all important, and that's why you got to know who you need to talk to fix what you need to fix.
Well, we're talking to you tonight. You're listening to the Abby Award-winning Vital Show. Inheritors of God's Promise are in studio sharing their plan and their ideas from a very personal place. This started from a personal place. We come back in the second hour. We're going to give you guys some time there as well. We also have a special guest who's going to give us a musical treat. We all about some entertainment. And then second half of the second hour, we're going to get into the election, which is on the 24th. All of that and more right here on V94.9 WATV.
Where was the one a couple of weeks ago? I missed it.
Where?
Very good.
Oh,
For the first time.
V94.9WATV. We're back for the second hour right here. About a minute early, and that's all good. We got a little time to spare sometimes, but we got a lot to talk about. And we have the elections going down on Tuesday. So we do want to make you all aware of that and just what to look out for, what to do, who's running. Because I know a lot of people still don't even know who's running or for what. They just gonna go in there and look for names that they saw on a t-shirt and on a sign. Boom, I'm gonna circle that because I saw it. I don't know them. I don't want you to do that. And that's kind of what we were just talking about. Um, every time an election comes around, there are different comments made or different thoughts about, well, I thought you were everybody in studio running for anything, but I'm more so speaking about those who do run to represent us and holding them accountable. So that was an off-air conversation that we were having with the ladies from Inheritors of God's Promise. So this organization is fueled by passion and experience. So just a quick recap about how you all started.
So it was just a conversation that caused an action. And the action was that we were going to get together and involve as many people as we can to come together and make better decisions, use the resources that we do have to be conducive to what we're looking for. And how do we get the resources we need? How do we get the programs we need? Who needs to help us?
And that goes directly into what we're discussing. So the work lies with the people. The work lies with the people. Those who are elected are the people as well, but they are the people that have connections to the resources that you need. So that's when you go, like you said, I'm standing outside of the stage as they come off wanting to have those conversations. How do those conversations go?
I mean, they're always, positive because, your candidate is going to want to hear your concern.
Yeah.
They're going to want to address it with you and, let you know that they're going to fight for this and for you. And they have this common goal in mind. And so we just have to do our homework to make sure that the candidate we're choosing is the right candidate because our legislature holds the most power. They make the laws, and that's what we were talking about when we were talking about, say, for instance, like bonds.
Yeah.
We think people that have repeat crimes, they're able to get a bond, but it's because of a state law, not because our own city judges or city government may say, hey, that something like that. It's a state law. So you have to go to the state to get that changed. There's nothing that Mayor Whitfield can do about it.
Yeah.
So you have to know what you're wanting to do, and you got to know who you need help from to get it done.
Okay.
And it's even out of the police hands. We see a lot going on and we say, well, the police need to do this,
Right.
but it's out of their hands. If you have a state law that allows people to walk around with this, that, and the third, and I won't, make it this political, but
it is what it is.
It's making it harder for the police to do their job.
Yeah. Speak, Judge. Okay, cool. All right. Yes, they do. So just thinking about the level of education that's needed when it comes to being able to function in a space to make a difference. I don't think there's a lot of education that's needed until you start to have to climb the ladder to start asking for support.
Right.
That's when the education is needed. The main thing I think is the experience. Like, hey, I live this. This is what I'm seeing happening every day. These are the issues that we see, and these are the answers that we have. So not only are you voicing concerns, but you all also have some answers, some remedies.
Right.
So you talked about the school system. What other area? You said the churches, and who else?
Yeah, so we haven't gotten to the churches yet, but we did have meetings with our city leaders.
Okay.
We were able to meet with them through the ACE program, and we were also able to speak with our chief of police, some captains, the assistant chief of police, just to see how we can foster a better relationship between the citizens and our police department. Because without the community, the police can't do everything by themselves. For one, we don't have enough.
Yeah.
Period. We don't have enough police to do effective policing. So some of the things that we want them to do, like I see kids walking to school in the mornings and home in the evenings, and I don't see police patrol, at least in those school zones, helping those kids or making traffic, what it should be for those crosses and things like that. But we don't have the manpower to do that, or shot spotter goes off and you are expecting to see a police, car, and you don't see one because our manpower is, limited.
Mm-hmm.
And then so the community, we can do a better job because a lot of us sometimes record things that happen and won't turn it in. Just the other week when the young man got killed, they in the report news said people were recording this incident, but it took days for someone to be able to identify the person that needed to be identified.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's those things we can do better. You gotta want to. If it was your child or your grandson or your nephew or your niece or your sister or your brother, your husband, your dad, you would want someone to do it for you.
Right.
You got to do it for somebody else. But we got to stop standing by watching, waiting, doing nothing. I don't like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, once again, ladies, your contact information, how often you meet, just kind of how, if people want to get involved and want to hear more about what you're talking about, how can they find you?
So if you guys want to get involved, we want to work with everyone. Just go ahead and hit us up on Facebook. This is all still new to us. It's still in the works. We're just acting on pure emotion and spirit led. God said go and we went.
All right. Inheritance of God's promise. And you have a special guest with us tonight. And I know first half of the show, we talked about the Birmingham Promise.
Yes.
And from all indications, this guy is promising. And a student, where? Or you want to talk about yourself, or you want your reps to talk about you?
So we have Trey Lee in the studio. He is a 2022 graduate of Winona High School, and he is also a Birmingham Promise student. He has a music scholarship to go to Alabama State University.
Yeah,
and
Alabama
continue
State.
his dreams. And so because we're all about our youth, we definitely want to celebrate accomplishments and make our kids aware that, hey, you can do it. There are options. Everyone doesn't play sports. Everyone's not a scholar. Everyone's not an entertainer, but there is a gift that you have that can allow you a career or, a way for you to be a productive citizen, regardless of how small or how big you think that is. And so Trey is a self-taught musician. Okay.
Oh.
And when you self-taught and you spirit-led, he's going to go far. He's going to do great things. He's already playing around Birmingham. So if you guys want Trey to come play at your event, anything, he plays everywhere. He's even done graveside services. So, he's
doing
just
it
a
all.
talented musician.
That's what's up.
And so we're going to support him in any way that we can because he's one of our youth and he's Birmingham promised.
All right.
Trey Lee.
So Trey, let's swing you around that way. And as he gets set up, now we've done this before years ago where we had like live entertainment in studio. Like we would be getting ready for a talent show or for a gala or something. And the contestants would come and sing on the air. So tonight you actually get to hear Trey give us a little something that he has. And look, as it gets set up.
He's so helpful.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Trey, and I will be playing "Leave the Door Open" by Silk Sonic.
Oh, that's perfect. That fits the format and everything. Black, swing your camera around a little bit. Play Trey. All right, y'all. Trey
Man,
Wesley from Winona High
the
School.
Hornets gonna love you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Y'all
Also-
book Trey.
By the way, if you want to hear more of me, I'm also on YouTube. That's Trey Wesley Sax, TREWESLEESAX. That's Trey Wesley Sax, and I'm also on Facebook.
That's what it is. That was good right
So
there.
thank
That
you.
was very good.
All
Thank
right.
you.
And I get
Thank you
chills
very
when I hear
much.
band stuff.
Yeah, you know,
Especially
like
woodwind. You know, we flute.
yeah,
you know.
like, that's what's up. Well, thank you for joining us with that. Oh, look, everybody, great job, Trey. Awesome job, Trey. Such a
Thank
talented young man. Y'all, they lighten it up online.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
That's what's up. So first time here at the V that we've been able to do that. It's like I said, it's been years. So when Talisha asked about bringing trust, like, yeah, we can do that. We can make it work. And it
We
worked.
love to celebrate our youth. So that's what
Absolutely.
we're all about. And we're going to be out there. You guys are going to see more of us. You're going to hear more of us. There are events coming geared towards our youth. So we're looking forward to work with whoever want to work with us. And let's just get it done, guys. Let's just come together and just try to turn this thing around.
That's what it is. Once again, your contact information one more time.
I'm Talisha. That's T as in Tom, ALIESHA Mitchell on Facebook. Drop me in my inbox. Hit me on my page. I'll get back to you with some personal contact information.
All right.
And I am Lakeisha Janae Turner on Facebook.
Y'all know how it's difficult, different ways to spell Keisha.
You're right. It's LAKEISHAJONAE.
Okay.
Turner.
Why you keep saying on Facebook? Like, your name different somewhere else?
Thank you, ladies, for sharing. Trey, thank you so much. Trey's family, thank you all too. They got here on time, honey. I was out there in the parking lot. I said, "Who are these people?" And it was Trey. They was bringing us a gift. So we really appreciate you all. Keep doing the work that you're doing. Keep working in the
Thank you so
community.
much for
And
having us.
absolutely, I know that once you put it out, people will come. Hey, Miss Linda. I know that people will come. So keep doing what you're doing, and they will come. They will work. We are about to transition into some things from the week. I know Black and Chuck are sitting there waiting with some type of something that has happened over the week. And then on Tuesday, we do know that it's a big election day. And shouts out to Greater Birmingham Ministries. Every election, I get this great election guide from them that tells you all of the details. It gives you like a full bio of each candidate, each race. I'm going to share some of this with you, and I'll be sharing it tomorrow morning on air as well, and Tuesday morning, so that you can know. So we're going to transition back out. And if you want the information on the Inheritance of God's Promise, you will be able to find them on our social media after the show. So, Blake,
What's up?
has it been a juicy week or no?
Not really. It's just really just been, you know, that Kardashian girl got married.
Oh, yeah. No,
Monkeypox.
Oh, yeah.
Monkeypox. You ever heard of monkeypox?
No.
So,
What is that?
so basically,
Something that you do not want.
right, something that you don't want. They say it come from Africa. There has been
'Cause-
38 cases worldwide this year as of Thursday, including 37 with no history of
Yes,
travel
sir.
to other countries. But in the United States, the first case was diagnosed in Massachusetts on Wednesday, and basically, they don't really know what monkeypox is.
It sounds like chicken pox from a monkey. You had
th-
chicken pox, now you got monkey pox.
Oh,
It's
you
a-
said pox.
Pox,
Yeah, it's
I
a-
thought you said monkey box. I thought
no,
What?
I was
sir.
confused. I thought it was like some OnlyFans something.
Oh God.
Oh.
So the
Okay.
monkeypox creates a
That's
rash.
what she said.
No,
It's ugly.
It's
Google
ugly.
it.
Monkeypox.
Yes.
it creates a rash that starts with a flat red mark that becomes raised and fills with pus. Infected people will also have fever and body aches. The symptoms typically appear within 6 to 13 days, but can last as long as 3 weeks after the exposure, and for up to 4 weeks. Most severe cases happen in children. And basically, the CDC doesn't know how to control it. They've been treating it like it's a smaller version of smallpox, but it's been around since 1958, so it's not new. But they say it's basically comes from Central and West Africa.
That sounds like the clap, yo.
What?
But it's called monkeypox because it started in
Monkeypox.
monkeys, and it sounds like you can get it basically the same way they say you could get COVID.
Oh,
So
gosh.
Just wear your mask.
Oh, so you wear a mask to prevent something that shows up on your skin?
It's a viral disease. It can be basically you can catch it through sneezing, breathing it, like just basically.
That's horrible. How do we get chickenpox back in the day? From touching somebody, right?
Yeah.
That is how that happened.
Have you ever had chickenpox?
I did.
Oh my God, that was the worst 2 weeks.
I
of my life.
don't remember what the itching was like. I just remember my grandma came by and gave me an oatmeal bath.
Right.
I remember
that, but I don't remember it being real bad.
Yeah.
But
No, it was awful for me.
What
How
did
bad
you
was
shove it in
it?
your mouth?
I was 14, so
Oh, you
was
were
old.
older.
Yes,
No, I was like in elementary school.
No,
Yeah.
and then I had oatmeal baths, calamine lotion.
Yeah.
Do they even sell that?
Yeah, they do.
Pulling pink stuff off your skin. It was crazy, man. I wanted to claw my skin off.
How did you so do you know you got chickenpox from?
No, I mean, I think there was an outbreak at my school.
At school.
And the outbreak was like 4 people. 4 or 5.
Yeah, because everybody else probably had.
Had it.
Wasn't it a
before.
vaccination? Oh, we had to have had them. So you remember,
You had to have it, and then you couldn't get them anymore.
I didn't get them anymore. But now we can get shingles if we.
Yeah.
I say,
Yes,
older.
you can
If
get
you're
shingles.
older, you can get shingles. And
Oh my
shingles is way
God.
worse than chickenpox.
I've
That's what I
known people.
heard.
I've known people that have had shingles. It's a shorter period of time. My chickenpox was
Gross.
like 2 weeks.
Oh,
I was down and out.
That's
Whew.
awful.
Protect yourself best you can, because I mean, a lot of this stuff we end up hearing about it just like now, just ran like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, like all last week, I forgot what was going on. Oh, they was talking about the formula shortages, and then in the midst of all of that, monkeypox. I'm like, what? Wait a minute.
So look, the shortage of the formula. So the
Look.
government is getting involved in that. You're a mother of a baby that has to have formula, right?
Right, but according to CNN, formula has arrived to Indianapolis from Germany today. As of today, 35 tons of baby formula arrived today.
You know, those seem to be a shortage of Pedialyte too, man. Like I ain't got kids, but every
Do
time
you drink it?
Yes.
I have 2 at home. You can have.
Pedialyte.
Yeah.
It's after,
Hey, slow down.
we talked about it last week.
Oh, we did.
Remember?
Pedialyte to save your life, yo.
We got some gifts too, y'all.
But according to CNN, also the prescription formula will be distributed to areas around the country where it's most acute needed. Basically, it won't be put on the shelves, but it'll be given to babies who can't have the protein that's in cow's milk. But also on the news, they said that babies over the age of 6 months can have
drink
cow's milk. I was like, I don't drink cow milk, so why would I give my baby?
I don't either.
Why?
It's
I just
nasty.
don't.
Healthy
I don't
milk?
like it.
Like
I do
just regular milk?
I don't. Yeah, I do almond milk.
You put almond milk in your eggs?
Mhm.
Oh, see, I like you.
Oh,
I use
gosh.
brown eggs as well. I don't do the white eggs.
Is that a race thing or?
I just
And
feel
Gouda
like
cheese.
it makes me better.
Look,
than
though,
everybody else.
I want to go here with this because of the whole formula thing. So we had a little conversation after church today where my mom was telling one of my god sisters that, with Dana, I use cloth diapers.
Oh,
Like that is so much work. But
Yeah.
okay,
That's a lot
Like
of washing.
like if I gotta feed like 5 times, you're gonna change me 5 times. Oh
That's a
man,
lot of
That
washing.
baby took a boo boo today that burnt my nostrils. I was like, oh no.
You was wondering if it was gonna cling to you.
Right.
we will not do cloth diapers.
Absolutely.
But okay, so
not.
she said that they did the cloth diapers. Then the whole thing about before formula. So my mind goes to, well, before formula, what were people doing? What were babies eating before formula?
They dropped this formula online where you can make formulas like carnation milk,
I saw
like
that
pet milk
too.
and water, and was it Cairo syrup?
Probably like
Cairo
what
syrup.
you feed puppies. But I'm just trying to figure out. That is what you do when the puppies don't take to their mama. You make this
Like
mush.
a pet milk.
Yeah, you make a little mush. So, but I'm just wondering if you're not breastfeeding, your baby has to have some type of food. And so
Something.
before Infamil, Similac, and all that other stuff, what were babies eating? And how do we get so far away from those things? Is it because of convenience and lifestyle changes?
Things change, produce change. It's like animals, and like before there was almond milk and stuff like that and silk, we all drank cow's milk, 2% milk or whole milk or whatever.
And
Almond
that-
milk hasn't always been around.
Yeah.
So things change and evolve, and then somebody said that cow's milk wasn't as healthy
They
for you
said it
because
has pus in it.
right, because cows don't even drink it.
Oh my goodness.
So y'all don't like cow's milk because what now? Is
It
it
got
health?
pus in it. I heard that one time and it just grossed me out.
I just don't
But I
like.
put my cereal in it and pour it out.
I hope there was no milk in your white chocolate hot chocolate.
If it was,
Probably.
that goes it down.
It depends on
good.
it depends on like how it is. I'm not gonna just say, oh, I want a cold glass of milk.
Right, and I
What?
know people who do that. You put ice in some milk and drink it. Like, what is
I
wrong
put
with
ice
you?
in my
More.
cereal milk.
Okay, just to
And
wet your cereal, but
Yeah,
that's
it
it.
has
You
to
ain't
be
sitting
really
there drinking
cold.
it.
Oh, no, I'm pouring it out now.
You got no refrigerator?
I want it colder than
My
that.
bad.
Oh my goodness. All right, so that's what happened with the breast milk and the Similac Infamil.
Yeah. So, and actually, there are stores that do have it. Last week, I drove around to about 5 stores, and you can't just go in there and get it off the shelf. You can go ask for it, and they'll go behind the counter and they'll ration you out 2 cans.
I really want to know how to make it. We're gonna make some organic formula. I think that'd be a good vital thing to do.
Why was this a supply chain thing or what?
I don't really know what happened. The
I thought it was
reason
some,
why.
like some
I don't know.
poison, like some.
No, well, actually, they had a recall on
Yeah.
Similac, which my son never drank the Similac because he has a sensitive stomach. So when they did the recall, shut up. When they did the recall on the Similac, it made those parents shift to Enfamil, which left less Enfamil for other parents who originally were using Enfamil before.
But is that okay? I said nationwide. So I'm like, dang. So that meant okay.
Yeah, because they recalled all of them. Like Similac never hit the shelves again.
Really?
So
Gotcha.
it was just Enfamil, AR, like Cairo drinks Enfamil Gentle Ease. And they have like that yellow can. Like he can't even take that yellow can of Enfamil.
Hey, all you new parents, blessings to you. Okay, what else has happened?
There's a great
Listen,
song
let me
called
tell you this
Similac Child
though.
back in the day.
So
Who? Hold on.
There was a great song called Similac Child back in the day. Black Sheep. Y'all remember Black Sheep?
no.
Who's the Black Sheep?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And they had a song
Okay.
called Similac Child.
I'm gonna Google that in a minute.
Check it out.
But like when they like with all this baby formula shortage and stuff going on, I thought to myself, and they want us to be able to stop women from being able to have abortions. But you can't even supply the amount of food that babies that are here now need.
Talk to him.
Yeah.
So why you gonna make somebody have a baby they don't want to have, and you can't feed the ones that's on earth right now? So over it. So moving forward, y'all remember that guy that jumped on Dave Chappelle?
Yeah.
They said that
Was it a guy?
yeah, it was a guy.
Okay.
He's 23 years
Arm
old.
ended up being like that.
Yeah, his arm was all messed up. Isaiah Lee, he told he did an interview with New York Post, and he said the reason why he jumped on him was because of all of Dave Chappelle's LGBT jokes, and he was triggered, so that's why he jumped on him.
He was transgender?
No,
I thought he was.
no, this is a man.
Well, that's why I was asking if it was a man. I
No,
swear.
he says I'm a single dad of 5.
I mean, that doesn't.
I'm a single dad,
Yeah,
and
you're right.
his
That don't
son
mean
is
anything.
5. He said it's a struggle, and I wanted Dave Chappelle to know it's not a joke. Plus, jokes early in the night made by an opener seemed to be speaking on pedophilia, and it kind of made him feel away too. So he said he was sexually abused as a minor, and he was just triggered and decided to jump on stage, and you got your whole arm broke backwards.
And your face bashed in by
Just-
Jamie Foxx and the homies.
They jumped on him bad.
Don't go
As
to the
they
show.
should have. Okay, so I wanted to talk about that.
Or leave. Just leave. I mean, what?
I'm triggered to the point where I want to see and hear the rest of it though, because I want to know what's next. No,
No,
I'm triggered and I'm
leave.
gonna get up and leave.
Or just don't go.
In situations like that, do you all ever pose the mental health piece where something, everything is mental health.
Well, and there's going to be a backlash on that too, because everything is not mental health.
It is. Every piece of your life is affected by your mental health.
Yes, but there are also people who are going to start claiming mental health under like a large
Yeah.
umbrella, and then that's going to take away from the actual mental health like movement and momentum that's
Yeah.
happening right now.
So like the whole thing of my mental health made me do it.
Right.
Yeah, and so
Right.
therefore, because there is
No,
so
you
much
did it because
help,
you was nuts,
absolutely.
but not like certifiable. Like you just crazy.
You tripping, right? So because there is so much help available and resources, that can't be an excuse all the time because, well, okay, you know that it was your mental health that made you do it, just like you knew that it was your mental health before you did it.
But they use it as excuse for white people all the time.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
So with that, let's transition to Buffalo. Remember when we got on air last week, it had just happened. We weren't really sure of full details, storyline, or any of that. And it's been a conversation everywhere, but mental health has come up again. The lenient gun laws, Second Amendment rights have come up again. And all of this right in the middle of these continued conversations about each of these particular things. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so it's coming up about that. I would definitely say that, oh boy, is mentally ill. What the diagnosis is, I can't say. I can't diagnose hate. That's what I've been saying. I cannot diagnose. I cannot make a referral or reference to a psychiatrist saying that I've been seeing this person. I'm diagnosing them with hate.
But I hear a lot of people say that racism is taught. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
It's a learned behavior.
Yeah.
Sure. Like if you ever see, man, I don't have kids, but like I've seen like children, like toddlers play with each other. They don't know. It's just like another little baby doing something. I'm gonna go talk to this little thing. And so it's, as you get older, that's where all that socioeconomic and racial construct becomes a thing, because like you put a bunch of kids together on the playground, they're just gonna play with each other till a certain age, maybe.
When differences make us respond a way. So when I see you and you're different from me, it makes me look, it makes me wonder, like I'm wondering, well, why you look like that? I don't look like that. Or, so those different things. So then the person that explains that to you, how do they explain it? Exactly. Do they explain it from a place of, they're not like us and we don't like them. We don't talk to them.
Yeah. How do you explain, like, how do you teach your child to hate somebody because of their color?
Those people.
How?
Yeah, we don't do them. So I don't even remember teaching my child racism, or I wouldn't teach her racism, but not having, I think for us, we teach those lessons of who we are. That's a separate lesson. But what to expect being who we are, we teach that as it happens. So like if your child comes home and says that, hey, this person was mean to me because I'm Black, or they said something that was this, and what does that mean? That's when we have those conversations. We don't teach, I don't think we teach color up front about other people. We teach about who we are.
You teach the response, or you focus on the response? Is that what you're saying?
I think we as a people teach it as needed. Like we teach our history.
Reactively. That's what I mean.
Yeah. We teach who we are. That's the part about the empowerment and the pride. And we do that. But we also, while teaching our history, we have to also teach the other part of how, we became and what you have to look out for. I don't know that other races have to have those conversations. Maybe the Asians are now starting to have those conversations because you got Asian hate now.
Right.
I think they've been doing that.
Okay.
I think they're probably just more of a more tight-knit community. Right.
Yeah.
So like they keep their money. Well, that's a stereotype, but I mean, every stereotype is based on truth.
Yeah, some truth to it.
Right. So like if you're living if you live in a community where everybody looks like you go to school, and like the convenience stores and the sundry shops and all that stuff are run by your people, then you don't have those conversations until something happens.
Yeah. Okay. 994-8949 is the number. 994-8949.
You stressed?
Yeah, I was just continuing. I was listening to y'all. I was continuing to read more about this Buffalo shooter, and it goes on to say how he beheaded his own cat.
Yeah, so this is one. It's like
so that I could give him a diagnosis now.
Typically, one of the things when y'all talk about this stuff, I don't know anything about it. Y'all be talking about Facebook stuff, and like I know it's like, so the whole thing about he was bored during the pandemic,
right?
He was listening 4chan. That's what it was. The 4chan stuff, and like getting on Reddit threads. The fact that he had a manifesto that was similar,
so long.
That was similar to. I mean, that's a quintessential definition of a manifesto.
It
ain't just a page now.
On your hands.
But apparently, this manifesto excerpted things from a previous manifesto with something that happened in Sweden, I think, at a church. Like, it's nuts, man. It's crazy.
So yeah, the family friend said that during the pandemic, basically COVID did this. COVID caused this, basically.
Yep.
And it reminds me of the affluenza situation where the young boy was so affluent that he was able to get off. And because I'm affluent, I didn't know this. These are things that I'm not accustomed to because I'm affluent. Affluent, for those of you listening, I
got bread.
I'm rich, right?
I got bread.
The rules that apply to y'all don't apply to me. So therefore, I didn't know, and that's why I feel that I should be able to get off.
I think it's different rules depending.
That's a wild defense.
Like I
got so much money. I ain't know what the little proletariat folks doing. So like I did this, so I should just get off. That's wild.
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't know. Like I don't live the life that you guys live, and
you don't get off. You don't get off when you broke.
Oh no, you guys deserve that. Like you should be rich. Like
I didn't know this was check fraud because I'm broke. So like I should be able to get off.
Right. Okay. See, there we go. 994-8949 is the number. If you want to get in on this conversation, you have an opinion, some vital thoughts that you like to share on anything that's happening right now in the news, Do that
in the news.
in the news. What else is in the
Hey,
news?
the people on the radio, do they hear the music in the background? I've always wondered that.
Yeah, the people that are listening through the radio.
Through
Yes,
the radio.
those
Okay.
who are listening on Facebook. I don't think they do. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So
It's a
I
dope
would,
song.
I would love for them to.
it is very dope.
Pun intended.
So something else I just wrote up on. There are 30 pennies that are over worth $20 million.
pennies.
Pennies.
Do you know how often
Coin
people
collectors.
see pennies on the ground
And they
don't
walk
pick
clean.
them
I
up?
pick up every last one of
I
them.
used to.
I pick them up on heads.
Yeah, exactly. I pick them up on heads.
That's that black folks, boy.
But I even have a penny from England from when I went there in high school.
Oh, you're so dope.
So cultured.
Yeah. So with these pennies that you pick up that are worth how much?
$20 million.
1 cent is actually worth $20 million if what?
If they like, there's a penny that's has Lincoln on it, 1922.
there's
It's
certain
worth
years.
$63,000.
Oh.
I got a bunch.
Um,
Well, I ain't gonna say that.
They got
I'm
like
gonna
it's
find
different.
it.
It's a list. It's a one that from 1914 with Lincoln on it. Yeah, you probably just walk past these pennies every day and don't think nothing about it. Yeah, I post them on Facebook.
Yeah, so I
because
gotta go
there's
flip through
several
my
of them.
pennies.
Right, exactly. I'm gonna flip through all my pennies and see what's happening because I need that.
You about to get on the Facebook post? I mean, Facebook,
Facebook group find the pennies, right?
First of all, I'm gonna get you on Facebook and then you can be my friend. And then you like,
There's
hey,
a
let me
group-
get one of them
Gotta
pennies,
start
Black.
somewhere.
There's a group for everything.
Yeah, it's gotta start somewhere. Yeah, I think it's about time we take a break. Is it?
It's 8:29.
Oh yeah, we should take a break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Vital right here on V94.9 WATV. We'll be right back. All right, V94.9 WATV, where the V stands for vital on Sunday nights. Last part of the show, we know that Tuesday is the election. I said I was going to play this when I came back. I love that. Gotta get on up and vote Tuesday. It's a primary election. What is a primary election? Well, political parties use primary elections to select who will represent their party in the general election. There may also be state constitutional amendments on the ballot. At your polling place on the day of the primary, you must choose a political party and you will be given a ballot with the candidates of that party and the proposed constitutional amendments. If you do not choose a party, you will receive a blank ballot. No, you will receive a ballot with only the amendments.
Right.
Did y'all know that?
Yes.
I don't know if I really knew that. I don't recall.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, let's stop there because a lot of people say, well, just because I go in, and, I don't want to just vote straight ticket Democrat.
Nope.
Right? Like people always say that. But what we just learned now is that this is for the primary election.
So it is straight ticket.
Yeah. Primary only. Okay. The party or candidates you choose in the primary do not limit who you get to vote for in the general election. In the general election, you may vote for candidates from multiple parties. Note, candidates running unopposed in their party will not appear on the primary ballot and are not included here in this book.
Right.
They will be included in our general election guide.
Right.
I bet somebody just learned something right then. Like, oh, what? I did not know that. So
Go
yeah.
vote, people. Go
Yeah.
vote, man. Like,
So
it's your constitutional right.
it is
Vote.
your constitutional right.
It's your duty, actually.
So listen to this one. Let's see what we feel about these. I see only one that'll be on there as an amendment. Amendment 1. This amendment authorizes the state to issue $85 million in bonds for improving, renovating, constructing, and maintaining public historical sites and state parks, excluding the Confederate Memorial Park in Marbury, Alabama. I will be voting yes or no. That's what it asked. Now, who knows, first of all, where Marbury, Alabama
I
is?
say, where is that?
And what they got to do with me? But it's on the ballot. Okay. I have a felony conviction. Can I vote?
It depends. You should. There are some felonies. They changed that law. What year is this? 2022.
Mhm.
They changed it within the last 3 or 4 years. So unless there's some felonies that you still can vote as long as you haven't committed a crime of like moral turpitude.
Yeah. Okay. And also there's a number here that you can call. There are other organizations that help with this as well. But this number here is 205-304-0481. 205-304-0481. Or you can what else? Email them. No, visit returnmyvote.com. So there's some resources for you there. Okay.
Hey folks, back to the voting real quick. Listen.
Yeah.
Because I realize that the voting is going to be, the turnout going to be low. It just always is. But here's the
and
deal.
it's going to be raining.
Is it? Man, just get a rain jacket. Get some galoshes, get some hunter boots, whatever. Dance in the rain with impunity. Listen, there are a lot of people who think that my vote doesn't count. And I think that is utterly ridiculous. However, if you're talking about on a national level, I will entertain that foolishness for a short period of time because electoral college, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about local elections, these things are important. Who your state representative is impacts you more than who the president is.
Mm-hmm.
Who the judges are, and Danny's unopposed, but like who the judges are, who the district attorney is, like these are people you or your people probably gonna see. And so it is important for you to figure out who you need to have in office. So like make sure you do the research and vote.
Right.
Like we were talking about when Danny had his job fair. And he was telling y'all that he's the only DA, the only district attorney in the whole state that's ever done a job fair.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all didn't vote Danny in, it'd be somebody else, and a bunch of y'all would not have gotten jobs. So like these things are important, man.
Right. And that's one position. We've been hearing tons of advertisements and seeing them on the news as well. Mostly here on the radio, you've been hearing about Democratic candidates.
Yeah.
On the TV, you've been seeing
because they got a bunch of money.
Right. You've been seeing these
Senate race.
Overly amped up Senate races. So
I
let me
see
tell
him
you
every morning. I'm sipping my coffee at like 5 o'clock, and I just get so tickled.
Don't watch local
like,
television.
What are y'all doing? Like they just bashing each other. I'm just sitting laying in bed watching. Like
negative ads work.
Yep. Well, here it is. Each state elects 2 senators to serve in the U.S. Congress. Senators serve 6-year terms with staggered elections. A senator's work includes debating bills, proposed laws, proposing amendments, changes to bills, and representing the interest of people in their state or district. So, Will Boyd, that's one of them. Brandon Dean.
Brandon Dean. Remember Brandon? He was the mayor of
Look,
Brighton.
Brandon Dean. I do remember that. I was wondering where he was. I was looking at the spelling of his name. I wasn't sure.
It was Brighton, right?
Yeah.
He was the mayor of Brighton.
Dean became the youngest mayor of Brighton in 2016 and served for 1 year.
Yep.
So now he's looking to run for Senate.
Yes, he is.
Lanny Jackson served 21 years in the U.S. Army. And let me find some more music I want to play. 21 years in the U.S. Army, worked in management and retired from UAB. And he had some other things there. I'll share these on social media. Then for the Republican Party, Lily Body lived in Florence. Okay. Army vet as well. Katie Britt. You've been hearing that name a lot.
Yeah. That's Shelby's
Seeing her
commission.
Seeing her commercials.
Yeah.
Mo Brooks. Y'all know about Mo Brooks. Yeah. Mo Brooks was the one that got shot at the park and was still like, but I'm still not going to say nothing different. Whoa. Okay. Then there's Carla Dupriest and Mike Durant. I've been seeing some Mike Durant commercials.
He's Mike Durant's the dude that Black Hawk Down is about.
Yeah.
The movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Now that's interesting. Then there's the governor's race. There are some Democratic candidates in the governor's race. The governor is the head of the executive branch of Alabama. Okay. It is elected. Oh, not it. And is elected every 4 years with a 2-year term limit. The governor suggests with a 2-term limit. Okay.
Two-term
term limit. Yes. The governor suggests legislation to the state legislature and can veto bills passed. The governor supervises state executive officers and agencies, convenes extra sessions of the legislature, and proposes a balanced budget to the legislature, and vetoes grants, reprieves, paroles, commutations of sentence, and pardons. The governor is the commander-in-chief of Alabama's military forces. Did y'all know that part?
Yep.
Like the governor is the one that sends out the National Guard and all that. Uh-huh. And including the Army and the Air National Guard and the Alabama State Defense Force. That's the governor's role. So for Governor Yolanda Rochelle Flowers from Birmingham. Okay, this is a Black woman running for governor. Okay. Malika Sanders, 40 year.
That's Hank's daughter.
Okay. Oh, Hank Sanders, originally from Selma. Okay, I see. Daughter. Okay. Bachelor's in psychology from Spelman. Okay, running for governor. Patricia Salter Jameson, originally from Atmore. See a couple things there for her as well. She has a BS in biopsychology, health, and development. Okay. She's a licensed practical nurse. So 2 of them are nurses, I think. That's interesting. All right, then Arthur Kennedy, graduate of Troy. Some of these people seem to be from around that area. Chad Chig Martin is from Enterprise, Alabama. He's running for governor. And then another Democratic candidate, Doug New Blue Smith, resident of Montgomery. You know him, Chuck? Like, so I'm naming the names, but I'm just like, we have never even heard of any of these people in this race. What is this going to look like for them?
I mean, we live in a red state. Good luck to everybody.
But it just is what it is.
Think about it. When's the last time? There's not a single statewide elected Democrat in the state of Alabama.
All right. Well, here are the Republicans then. Lindy Blanchard is running.
Yep. She's from Montgomery.
She's
out of Montgomery, right?
It does not
She lives in, that's some person that was the ambassador, or is that not her?
Yeah, I think so. She has a BS in mathematics from Auburn. I do know that. I see that much. Yeah, she served as a U.S. ambassador to Slovenia. Yeah. Okay. Then there's Lou Burdett. He was a Books A Million vice president, and he had some traumatic history with abuse and neglect.
He got some billboards that just started popping up.
Like right now, we vote Tuesday. Okay. Then there's Stacey Lee George. There's Kay Ivey, who's the incumbent. Y'all know anything about Kay? You want to learn about Kay right quick? Because I bet folk don't know. Let me share this about your governor.
It's her girlfriend mentioning
received a degree in secondary education from Auburn University.
Slow down, boss.
She has served as Alabama State treasurer and lieutenant governor. She became governor in 2017 after Governor Bentley's resignation and was elected in 2018. Okay. Ivy was the first Republican woman elected as lieutenant governor. Ivy is pro-life candidate with a platform of improving education, supporting veterans and the Second Amendment, and increasing job opportunities for Alabamians. Okay, so that's what you need to know about your governor who's already in. It's probably going to
be stepping right with the commercial.
No step too high for high step.
She put her lipstick in her pistol in her
Girl.
purse.
Okay, let's go. Tim James. Fob James is his dad. He's running. His Fob James was the governor as well.
Yes.
Twice.
Yes.
No. James has run for governor twice, but his dad was the governor.
Right.
He wants some casinos out here. Okay.
I mean, because we leaving to go to the casinos anyway, so might as well.
Yeah, okay. Donald Trent Jones is running. He wants to legalize marijuana.
Okay.
He's Republican. And they said according to his Facebook, Dean Odle is running.
I've seen some signs for that person.
Odle, okay. Dave Thomas.
Down in like South Alabama.
Yeah. And Dean Young. That's a lot of people. Dean Odle and Dean Young are both running. Okay, so that's that. That's a lot of people running for governor.
Like 3 weeks ago, the governor was probably going to win without a runoff. I don't think that's the case now.
There's too many people. It's like 100 people running.
I don't think she's 51%. She's going to win, probably.
Because there's no step. Kay Ivey is going to
Ivey.
win.
Out of 100 people running, you still think she's
so
gonna win?
Let's see how
It's
many
hard
it
to be
is.
an incumbent governor. What has she done wrong
5,
for Republicans? Nothing.
Well, she's done nothing wrong to the Republicans, so they
So
can
some-
they
15
gonna back
people
her.
are in that
Yeah,
race.
sometimes you just keep.
You might as well
status quo.
jump in there too.
As a Republican.
As
As a
somebody.
Republican, what am I even running? What would be my points? Okay, we'll talk about it.
I'm vital.
I'm vital.
And
I was
that's all
about to
that
say the
matters.
same
That's it.
thing.
That's it.
I saw a commercial when somebody was talking about being vital, and it wasn't you.
What?
Yeah.
Right.
It
Oh,
was
we
like
need
a-
to sue.
Yeah, I was going to tell you that.
We need to find that, Chuck.
I will.
Alabama Supreme Court Justice, place 5, Greg Cook.
Greg Cook.
Okay. And Deborah Jones. Both of them are running. Deborah Jones says she's 5 feet tall and something else.
She's run before.
Okay. Auditor. We need an auditor. The role of the auditor is to maintain accurate records of all state personal property valued at $500 and above, as well as items deemed sensitive. The state auditor's office is the check and balance between the comptroller's office and the state treasury. The auditor also makes reports about taxes and revenues paid into the treasury and audits the records of the treasurer and the Department of Finance. So this person has access to the money.
All the money.
So it has to be someone trusted,
Yeah, and I only
hopefully with a
see
finance background.
Republican. Okay, so yeah, everything else, Attorney General is running. That's open. Well, there's an incumbent. Steve Marshall is
Steve
the
Marshall,
incumbent,
yeah.
and running against Steve Marshall is Harry Bartlett Steele III.
Unfamiliar. I
Right?
don't know.
Who's the
Who's
that?
I don't know.
Secretary of State? The Secretary of State is the chief election officer of Alabama and oversees elections. We know what they do. We've been hearing about it forever. The incumbent there,
John Merrill.
John Merrill, and John Merrill is running against Jim Ziegler,
Yeah.
Ed Packard. No, John Merrill ain't even on here. He ain't running. Maybe not. No incumbent.
John Merrill is not.
I don't see him here.
He didn't qualify for. They thought he was going to run for senator at one point in time.
Well, he ain't in here. Christian Horn is running, and also Wes Allen. All these people are running. Public Service Commissioner member, then Alabama legislator. So here we are with the state senators. I think this is where it gets really interesting for everybody that's tuned in. You know, let's look at the
Those senators be going hard on the commercials. Like
They
I know
do.
for a fact, like Katie Breach, she be
PSC
going
is
hard.
actually the last. That's actually the last statewide Democrat we had. It was when Lucy Baxley was still over. PSC. She's the last one, and that was years ago. So
maybe
Yeah.
we can do something different this time. Let's look at the state senators. District 15. Do I see anybody? No. District 17 and 17. So let's look at 19. That's when we start seeing names that are familiar to us. Louise Lulu Alexander holds a BA in computer science and business administration from Southern
Lulu.
College. She has been a state representative for Alabama House District 56 since 2014. Her past professional experience includes military and small business experience. In 2022, Representative Alexander sponsored a bill to limit the amount of money municipalities may collect from traffic ticket fines and penalties. Y'all remember that was a big deal just a few weeks ago?
this ain't Brookside. Come to
Okay.
court in Birmingham.
Okay. She voted no on a bill to allow permitless carry of handguns, as well as the legislation requiring elementary school children to use bathroom corresponding to the sex on their birth certificates. Marika Coleman holds a BA in mass communications and an MPA from UAB, as well as a JD from the Birmingham School of Law. She is an attorney and has served as state representative for District 57 for 20 years.
Yeah, she was
Wow.
wasn't she the youngest at one point?
I don't
Maybe?
know.
Or
Probably
something.
so. 20 years. That's a long time.
Yeah.
She was the youngest woman ever elected
See?
to the Alabama State
I
Legislature
know a little
in
something.
2002.
Un poquito.
Okay. She currently serves as Assistant Minority House Leader. She chaired the recent committee to oversee the removal of racist language from the state constitution. Coleman voted against she also voted against the legislation or the legalization of permitless carry of handguns, as well as to be requiring elementary school students to use the bathroom corresponding to the sex on their birth certificates.
Why is that even a discussion? I get tired of that even having to be a discussion.
They made it a discussion.
Elementary school children using the bathroom corresponding to the sex on their birth certificates. But then you make a commercial that says that Alabama legalized the first transgender school. That's why, because of these type of.
But if it's a transgender school, then
It's okay.
right?
Hey, it's just
It's a
fear
safe
mongering,
space.
yo.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
it's a safe space. Let's go down to District 20. Linda Coleman Madison is the incumbent, and running against her is Rodney Huntley. So about Ms. Linda Coleman Madison, she has a Bachelor of Education from Alabama A&M and an MED from UAB. She is an employee of Birmingham Jefferson County Transit Authority and has been state senator since 2006. She has been endorsed by the Business Council of Alabama for the 2022 election cycle. In the most recent legislative session, she was the only member of the Senate Governmental Affairs Committee to vote against allowing a full vote on the bill requiring elementary school students. Boom, 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 boom. Same bill again.
Yeah.
Every Democrat voted against that.
Yeah.
So just assume that.
Right?
Maybe one didn't, actually. Keep going.
Okay. Rodney Huntley holds a BS and MS from Faulkner University as a retired Alabama Department of Corrections employee. He was a warden of Childersburg Community Work Center Work Release Facility. Chillabird. He has run for office, Birmingham City Council, Birmingham City School Board, and Alabama State Senate previously in 1998, 2006, 2009, and 2013. He's current president of the Maple Grove Neighborhood Association.
You know what? Listen to you read that. You could be like, like on those medicine commercials where they give you all
the very
side
end.
effects at the end.
That's how now
you gotta
some
run
fashion
through
shows.
everything.
Right.
Yeah, you got to
It
get in
goes
there real
death.
quick.
You know the worst side effect. Y'all know the worst side effect.
State representatives. Let's see. District 14, District 15. I'm looking for those that are in our area. District 47. That's when we start getting into a lot of the names that we know. And I'm just going to call their names and then we'll share this information and where you can go. Christian Coleman. Jim Toomey. Then we're looking at District 52, Latanya Millhouse. John Rogers is the incumbent in that seat and has been there for, I want to see how long, since 1982.
What?
Since
Yeah,
1982.
John Rogers been there forever.
I wasn't even born yet.
But thing is, he's been there, he's been working, but so has Latanya. That's going to be a big race, y'all. District 54, Britt Blaylock, Edward Maddox. That's former band director at Woodlawn.
Former school board member, too.
Former school board member, and
He's at the Woodlawn Foundation.
Yep, no,
Isn't he?
I don't see that. Woodlawn Neighborhood Association. He's the
that's
president. Okay, so then let's look at District 55. No,
And you
Neil
got
Rafferty is
Rafferty,
the
too.
incumbent.
Don't forget about Neil.
Neil Rafferty is the incumbent corporal in the U.S. Marine Corps. I did not know that.
Yeah,
Holds a
how
BA.
that's where him and Michael met.
Okay, cool. Holds a BA in English and Political Science from UAB and has worked at Birmingham AIDS Outreach. Let's see. Neil was elected to this position in 2018 and is Alabama's only openly gay lawmaker. Neil said something on, they got a clip of him saying something about how life is. Like, whatever he said, it was super passionate. I quoted it for about 2 weeks on the show. But yeah, that's
He went to war, man, and it
changed him.
I'll say this. With the legislature, he went to war and it has cost him some political capital on the other side. So, but we ain't endorsing nobody. I'm just telling you, that man was out there working. Yeah, he was out there working.
Okay. District 55, Travis Hendricks. Travis Hendricks grew up in public housing in Birmingham and serves as a police sergeant for the Birmingham Police Department. Went to Miles College. All right, just know that part right there. And he has some other accolades on here as a master's degree as well. Also running in that race, Phyllis E. Odin Jones attended Fisk University, has an associate's degree in biology from Lawson State and a bachelor's in criminal justice from UAB. So you check her out. Fred Coach Plump is president of the Fairfield Chamber of Commerce. He's also running, served in the National Guard, retired from the Birmingham Fire and Rescue Department. Roderick Rod Scott is the incumbent there. So I see a lot of people getting that. I see y'all. I see what you're doing. He has served as state representative since 2006. He is the ranking minority member of the House Committees on Fiscal Responsibility, Education Policy, and Ways and Means Education. He was my teacher at Miles College in like some class that I hated. What was it?
Probably
So economics.
It's about economics.
I was like, but
I don't want to do these.
I don't like these, but we got cool though. You know, we actually got cool. He understood my deficits. Then there's Antoine Bernard Womack. Antoine attended Winona High School, ran for mayor of Tarrant in 2008, for Birmingham Board of Education in 2009, 13, 17, and 21, and for Alabama House District 55 in 2018. Yep. He qualified to run for Jefferson County Board of Education in 2010, but withdrew prior to the election. So if you are familiar with anything Birmingham, election, government policy, you know Antoine Womack. Then there's District 56, Tarisha Huffman, graduate of UA, worked for 4 years for the Atlanta City government on public outreach, grants, and data reporting. Huffman worked on the executive team for Rev Birmingham. She has other accolades as well. She's also on the Birmingham Waterworks Board. Okay, she was elected there in 2021, put there in 2021. Cleo King received his bachelor's in business administration from the University of Phoenix. He was elected to the Bessemer City Council in 2010, and he was elected president of the Bessemer Public Library Board of Trustees in 2011. Jesse Matthews is also running there. Ontario Tillman is running for that seat as well. Matthews attended Lawson State Community College, Bessemer State Community College, and UAB, currently employed with Alabama Power. Ontario Tillman received his BS in special education and his master's in collaborative teaching from Alabama A&M University. Worked in Bessemer City Schools as an educator and coach, and he got his JD from Miles College, and he's currently a partner with Maxwell and Tillman Law Firm. District 57, Kevin Dunn. Kevin Dunn has served on Pleasant Grove City Council since 2020 and was among its first 3 Black members. I think that's pretty big. He's law enforcement officer and entrepreneur and has a mentorship program called Ties to Success. Patrick Sellers is also running for that seat. He holds a BA from the American Military University and a BTH from Birmingham Esonian Baptist Bible College and a D-Min from Andersonville Theological Seminary. Sellers is pastor of Mount Zion Baptist Church of Riley and an armed vet. Charles Ray Winston III is a Jefferson County constable. He attended Lawson State, Jeff State, and Stillman College. His father has been assistant tax assessor in Birmingham. Winston says Medicaid expansion, healthcare access, and mental health resources are his top priorities. District 60, Wonderland Gavan. Okay. Wonderland Gavan is the incumbent there. She has been state representative since 2010. She holds a BA in political science from Miles College and a JD from Miles Law School. She is the owner of Given and Associates Law Firm. Gavan and Associates Law Firm, and previously worked for the city under Mayor Arrington.
Ain't no lawyers just giving you anything now.
Okay. Nina Taylor is the current fire captain for the Pratt City Fire Station, has worked as a firefighter for 19 years, and teaches at the Fire Science Academy at Midfield High School.
Science all up through the hood.
All right. Yeah, so you got those 2 in that one, and then you got the other races. We'll share those online. Lanice Washington is the incumbent in Bessemer and elected district attorney in 2016 and was the first Black woman in this role. So remember that name as well. Let's see who else we got. Yeah, some other ones. There are several others, but just keeping up with the time, we're going to post them all. Very familiar names. And if you don't know these names, one thing that I did say is that if you don't know their names prior to the primaries, you definitely know them after that. So for some people, this will just be an introduction to everybody, but for others, they are tried and true. So vote on Tuesday. We have a big sheriff's race right here. We want to talk about that for like 3 minutes.
Sure.
A big old sheriff's race. It's like 6 people.
It's a Black lady running.
It's a black female running.
6, is it? So you got Petway, you got Felicia,
you got Easley, you got Hale,
and then the Felicia Ruckers.
Yeah.
It's like so.
That's
Hale,
5.
Is that 5?
Something like that.
Okay.
Something like that. So look,
I can't count.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't have it in front of me.
Outside.
But just thinking about that particular race, like the role of the sheriff's office. No, we always talk about not having enough police officers and what the police aren't doing. What is the role of the sheriff? And I remember interviewing our current sheriff before, just like getting him to break it down. What are you going to be doing? What are you responsible for? Chuck, can you give us just like a minute on any of that?
I mean, the sheriff, think about it. It's just like the chief of police for the county, right? And so sheriffs are responsible for serving notices, process serving. Sheriffs typically have jurisdictions that run the whole county. So like, there have been times in which, if people are doing something in one city, once you get 2 miles into another city, that original city loses jurisdiction. So sometimes the sheriff can be the buffer before the other people get involved.
Like the sheriff, they have Forestdale.
Right.
Because technically it's not Birmingham.
Right. And so then
Birmingham is right there.
They also have places that are unincorporated.
Right.
So you have a lot of pockets in Jefferson County that are not an actual city. They are unincorporated Jefferson County.
Yeah.
So they have purview over that too.
Gotcha. So the sheriff's race is important because there are some of you who do not live in Birmingham, who do not live in areas that have a police department. And it is the sheriff and the sheriff deputies who will come to your aid and to protect and serve you.
The sheriff's department is over evictions.
Yeah. And we also know that, like, if something happens to a city's department, that the sheriff's office will step in.
Yes.
Like Fairfield. All right. So that's your quick rundown on Tuesday's election for the primary.
There's a whole bunch of people up there running for office.
A lot of people.
Some of those races are crowded too. 55 crowded.
And you wonder, like, so are you that disappointed with the person that's already in the seat that you got to get in there?
Everybody just gonna run, like, I'm gonna run too. Forget it.
Let's split the vote, and then when it comes time for the next one, the general, that's
gonna be a bunch of runoffs.
Okay,
probably.
All right, so we'll be watching.
Can't escape it, yeah.
We'll be watching. Great show tonight, guys. Hopefully you got some good information. I'll talk to you in the morning at 10 a.m. We are doing big things this summer, so you better get in with our social media. Vital Show on Facebook. Follow all of us for all the updates, events, and all types of stuff. It's about to go down. Right, we're gonna get that fixed. Social media.
Yeah, I don't care until today.
Yeah, sure. Y'all have a good night and a great week. Be vital.
Night.